Have you guys ever wanted to build an awesome modern house in Minecraft and not had a super large amount of materials or the knowledge on how to accomplish it? Your build is flat-faced, lacks depth, and doesn't have that super sleek modern design that you see on other modern houses. Your color palette is bland and doesn't really go together, and you don't know what to do. Well, stick around because we're going to be turning a not so great modern house like this into an awesome, super easy and simple, stylish modern house. Okay guys, so here is the house we're going to be transforming today, and as you can see it's very basic and the materials used don't really go together. So the first step to transforming a house or building one like this is selecting the right materials. Now in my inventory I have three very simple materials: blocks of quartz, black concrete, and some grey stained glass panes. Now I have selected these materials to go with the stereotypical white, black and grey colour palette of a modern house. Now of course if you would like to switch any of your materials, this is the time to do so. For example, changing your quartz to white wool or some snow blocks, and maybe black concrete is too hard to acquire in survival, so you'd like to use a different material for that, like a stone or a wool as well. The first thing we're going to be doing to this house is changing the front big archway that we can see here. So to start off, we're going to be removing the first 6 blocks on the right side of this house. In the block next to this, we're now going to be adding 7 blocks of quartz. We can now remove the top and the other side of birchwood and replace that with quartz as well. Now we can remove the glass. We can now get rid of this basic interior and next layer of glass and birch to make room for the next level of this house. We can now grab our birchwood blocks, replace this dirt block with birch, and behind that place 3 blocks of quartz. Now the idea of making this front square bigger was to give the house a more open feel, and although you're using a small space, it's always good to make your build look bigger and let a lot more natural light in. You can now place another 2 birch planks to replace the 2 dirt blocks in front of the quartz. Now it's time to replace these not so nice looking brick blocks. For this we're going to be using our black concrete, and we're simply going to be knocking away all the brick and replacing it with our black concrete. Now we're going to be moving the 4 blocks above the concrete and raising the black concrete by another 3 blocks in total. So by making this concrete pillar higher, we're adding another layer of depth to this build. Now 1 block in from the quartz block, we can place 4 blocks of black concrete. Take this along by 4 more blocks. We can now completely remove this right wall of our build. We're now going to be taking this black concrete block back 6 blocks and then down to the ground. We can now remove some of these dirt blocks so we have more room to work with. Now to the back of our build, we're going to come 1 block below the black concrete and bring it along 5. We can now replace and fill the remaining materials under this black concrete with black concrete also. For now, we can knock out this door, replace black concrete on the floor, and we'll place another door in its place later on. Now on the top of this black concrete, we're going to place 7 quartz blocks. We can also replace these birchwood planks with quartz also. Now on the back of the build, we're going to add 2 rows of 9 blocks of quartz. And on this left side, bring these both blocks down to the ground. Now, 1 block in from the concrete on the end, we can place ourselves a quartz block, take it down to the ground, bring it in 2, and connect it with our first quartz pillar. We can now remove the dirt in between the black concrete and the quartz, and replace this with quartz also. We can now replace this remaining strip of grass with birch wood. Now this last remaining window on the ground floor can be destroyed. Replace the blocks in between the 2 windows with quartz. And in its place, we're going to add grey glass panes. We can now do this for the other window. And the 2 windows at the front of our house. Now using glass panes instead of glass blocks, although you may not notice it sometimes, adds a lot of depth to the build. Also, if you think about it, a full block completely fills up the space where you'd have your window, whereas the glass pane leaves a slight gap either side, giving you that more sleek and minimal effect. Now to fix the last part of this house, which is the roof. This block of quartz, we're going to be adding 7. And replacing all the birch all the way around with quartz as well. Going to be replacing all this birchwood with quartz blocks and adding in another row of 7 at the side. We can now remove the glass blocks and replace them with our grey glass panes. Let's finish it off by taking the glass panes all the way around to connect to the front. Now something else we can add to this build is a skylight. Now once again, going back to letting the natural light in, skylights are absolutely amazing for this and make the room seem bigger than they actually are. So let's grab our normal glass blocks, jump into our roof, let's jump 1 block in and 3 blocks back, delete our first block, and delete 7 more. We should have deleted 8 blocks in total, and we can just replace these with glass blocks. Finally, we can go in and grab ourselves a door of our choice. I'm going to be using birch to go with the lighter colours on this house, and we can replace the door we deleted, but this time we're going to be placing it on the back of the block. Let's add a stone path coming 4 blocks out from the door. We can go in and grab ourselves our oak leaves, our oak fences, place oak leaves in front of the black concrete on the back of the build. Now on either side of this window we can place an oak fence and an oak leaf on top. Around the front of the house we can place oak leaves in front of the bottom story window. Now if this is in your survival world, you may actually want a farm, and there is a perfect space for this on the right side of our build. Now we're going to be adding our interior. First off, we can fill in any random spaces left in the build. Now when doing the interior on a small house like this, you want to keep it to the bare minimum, but you also want to make it look nice and use colors that go with the outside of your house. For example, in this house, instead of using a red or a brown bed, I'm using a white bed to contrast well with the colors we used on the build. So let's start off by placing our bed on this far wall and a single chest in front of it. We can place a torch on the wall and our furnace built into the ground in this corner. Then using the iron trapdoors we can build ourselves a shelf. And on top of this we're going to add one double chest and our crafting table to the far right. This is just a nice way of keeping the crafting table and extra storage out of the way and off the ground so you can actually walk around. Behind me in this corner we're going to be adding our armor stand. And 1 block diagonal from that, placing 2 carpets for a little modern rug. We can now go in, grab ourselves oak fence and some oak leaves. On top of the furnace, place your fence and then your leaf, and the furnace is kind of hidden by this planter. But that is it guys, our once cramped, small and basic modern house is now slightly bigger, has lots of different shapes, and has the simple and elegant look of an awesome modern house. Hopefully you guys have taken some tips from this video, have managed to build yourselves an awesome little modern house, or have turned a once not so nice looking build into something more attractive. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure to check out the other videos on my channel. I'm sure you'll find something that you enjoy. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like. I love you all so much. Stay creative, stay positive, and I'll see you in my next video. See you guys.